CBSE Class 10 Math Sample Question Paper, year 2020. It's a 3-mark question from the standard version of the paper, question number 29. This question had an internal choice. Both the choices appeared from the topic, a pair of linear equations in 2 variables. The first question, though it appears to be a geometric question, it's actually solving a pair of linear equations. Quite an easy question actually. We have solution to both the alternatives, both the internal choices in this video. Let's get started with the first one. In the figure, ABCDE is a pentagon. So this figure given to us is a pentagon. With BE being parallel to CD, BC being parallel to D, we'll note all of that in the subsequent slide. BC is perpendicular to CD, this is given to us. Measures of AB, AE and BE are given. They mentioned BC is equal to x minus y. BC is equal to x minus y and CD is equal to x plus y. They informed us that the perimeter of this pentagon is 27 centimeters. We need to find the value of x and y. Let's get started. Let's just jot down each of the information given to us. BE is parallel to CD. That is BE and CD. BE is parallel to CD. Next piece of information, BC is parallel to DE. BC is parallel to DE. So look at this quadrilateral BCDE. They've essentially mentioned to us that opposite sides are parallel. It could be a parallelogram, it could be a rhombus, it could be a rectangle. Let's check out. Do we have additional information? BC is perpendicular to CD. So this angle is equal to 90 degrees. This angle is equal to 90 degrees because BE and CD are parallel. If BC is perpendicular to CD, it will also be perpendicular to BE. Extending the same logic, we'll have these two angles to be equal to 90 degrees. So in this rectangle, in this quadrilateral BCDE, we have opposite sides being parallel and all angles being equal. So what is it? Is it a parallelogram? Is it a rhombus? Is it a rectangle? It is a rectangle. That's what we have. Now in a rectangle, opposite sides are parallel, opposite sides are equal. So the measure of BE will be equal to CD. The measure of BC will be equal to ED. We know that the perimeter of this pentagon is equal to 27. We'll plug in the data given to us before we add up all the sides to add it up to 27. It says that AB is equal to 5. Let's mark this, which is 5. AE is equal to 5. This is also a 5. BE is equal to 7. If BE is 7, CD will also be equal to 7. BC equals x minus y. And it says CD is equal to x plus y. CD is equal to x plus y. We know that because BE is 7, CD should also be equal to 7. So one equation we have in place, x plus y is equal to 7. If we can get the second equation, x minus y equals what? We can solve those two equations and find the answer. Let's set about doing that. We know that the perimeter is 27. Perimeter of this pentagon is the sum of the 5 sides, AB plus BC plus CD plus DE plus EA. Add all of these 5 sides. We're going to get at 27. Some measures we know. AB is a 5. BC is equal to x minus y. We do not know what its value is, but we'll write it as x minus y. CD is equal to 7. We already know that. DE will be the same as BC. In a rectangle, opposite sides are equal. So it's another x minus y. EA has been given to us, which is equal to 5. All of these add up to 27. We have an x minus y here and an x minus y here. Add those two. That will leave us with 2 times of x minus y. 5 plus 7 is a 12. 12 plus 5 is a 17. It goes to the right hand side. 27 minus 17 will leave us with a 10. Which means that the measure of x minus y is 10 by 2, which is equal to 5. Add this equation to the other equation, which is x plus y is equal to 7. Now we have a very simple pair of linear equations in 2 variables. Adding these 2 equations, y gets cancelled with y. 2x is equal to 12, which means the measure of x is equal to 6. Plug in the value of x as 6 in one of the equations. Let's do it in this equation. X plus y is equal to 7 is known to us. We have computed x to be a 6. So 6 plus y is equal to 7 or y is equal to 1. X is 6, y is 1. We found out the answer. Quickly recap it in a minute in a printed form. Here is the data that we have, x plus y. We realize that because these two sides are parallel and these two sides are parallel and this is perpendicular, we inferred that all of these 4 angles will have to be equal to 90 degrees. Opposite sides are parallel, all angles are 90 degrees. We know that it's a rectangle. So we know this measure is equal to x plus y given to us. It says that BE is equal to 7. Opposite sides of a rectangle are equal. So x plus y is equal to 7. BC is equal to x minus y, which is the same as DE, which is also equal to x minus y. So we got all of this in place. If you know the measure of x minus y, we have the answer. How are we going to go about finding out? We're basically going to plug in the values of this as 5 and 5. This is already known to us as 7. Adding up all of these 5 sides to give us the perimeter, which is equal to 27. So from that, we got the value of x minus y to be equal to 5. Already we know x plus y is equal to 7. add the two equations, we'll get the value of x to be as 6. Substitute it in one of these equations or subtract one equation from the other, we'll get the value of y to be equal to 1. X is 6, y is 1, the two values that we needed to find out. Quite an easy question. The next question actually is a very standard textbook question. Right? Solve the following system of equations. 21 by x plus 47 by y equals 110. 47 by x plus 21 by y is equal to 162. So essentially, we'll convert this, we'll reduce it to a system of linear equations in two variables. How are we going to do it? We have a 21 upon x, 47 upon y, 47 upon x. So 1 by x will assign it as one variable. 1 by y will assign it as one variable. Given information that neither x nor y is 0. So the assignment I'm going to make is let a be equal to 1 by x and let b be equal to 1 by y. So this first equation will therefore become 21a plus 41b equals 110. Second equation is going to become 47a plus 21b equals 162. Now look at these two equations. The coefficient of a in the first equation is the coefficient of b in the second equation. And the coefficient of b in the first equation is the coefficient of a in the second equation. Such equations, the best way, quickest way to solve it is add the two equations, subtract the two equations. Let's start by adding the two equations. Let's add equation 1 with 2. So what we'll get is 21 plus 47, which is 68a, 47 plus 21, which is again 68b. So 68a plus 68b, I'm going to write it as 68 times a plus b. That is equal to 272, adding the right hand side. Let's see if this number is divisible by 68. Yes, it's divisible by 68. So let's divide both sides of this equation by 68. We'll be left with a plus b is equal to 4. I'm going to call this as equation 3. Now, as I mentioned, when you have these coefficients interchange in this way, subtract one equation from the other. I'm going to subtract equation 1 from equation 2. Equation 2 is a 47a plus 21b. This is equal to 162. You can do the other way around too. I'm choosing to do it because 162 minus 110 is a positive number. That's the only reason. You can do it the other way around. You'll get an answer in the negative. Both sides will be negative. It'll get cancelled. No sweat at all about that. Plus 47b. This is equal to 110. So equation 1 is being subtracted from equation 2. 47a minus 21a is equal to 26a. 21b minus 47b is a minus 26b. 162 minus 110 is equal to 52. This entire equation is divisible by 26. Let's do that. If we divide the equation by 26, we'll have a minus b is equal to a 2. Dividing it by 26, left hand side becomes a minus b. Right hand side is 52 by 26, which is a 2. Let's call this as equation 4. Add equation 3 to equation 4. Equation 3 is a plus b is equal to 4. Equation 4 is a minus b is a 2. When you add the two equations, b and b gets cancelled. 2a is equal to 6, or the value of a is equal to 3. Plug in the value of a in one of these equations. 3 plus b is equal to 4. I'm plugging it in this equation. So b is equal to 4 minus 3, which is equal to 1. We need to find the values of x and y. What is x? A is equal to 1 by x. A is a 3, which is equal to 1 by x, which means the value of x will be equal to 1 by 3. B is equal to 1 by y. B we computed to be a 1, which is equal to 1 by y, which means the value of y is equal to 1. X equals 1 by 3, y equals 1. So this system of linear equations given to us, which will actually reduce it a pair of linear equations in two variables in this format, solve it and find the answer. Quickly summarize it in a printed form. We're going to add these two equations. When we add the two equations, we get an equation 3, which is a plus b equals 4. We're going to subtract equation 1 from equation 2. That will result in a minus b being equal to 2. We're going to add 3 and 4 to find the value of a. A is equal to 3. Plug in the value of a as 3 in one of the equations to find the value of b, which is equal to 1. If a is equal to 3, a is 1 by x, which is equal to 3, which means x is equal to 1 upon 3. B is equal to 1 by y, which is equal to 1, which means y is equal to 1. X equals 1 by 3, y equals 1 is the answer. Before you leave, do two things. Sign up at online.maxtute.com for CBSE online coaching for class 10 maths. It takes less than 5 minutes in all of 3 steps to get started. And do one more thing. Subscribe to this channel, youtube.com/maxtute, and spread the word about this channel to your friends and classmates.